Welcome to the market. The market at moonrise. Open your senses. Under lantern-lit stalls, merchants pack their wares, silks and spices and soft loaves of bread as night falls. A lone trumpet echoes through the empty square. Soon, the fountain's gentle spray will join the song of crickets in the hush of an emptying market. Let the cool night air brush past the colorful canopies above. Feel the cobblestones beneath your feet growing slick with the evening dampness. In the distance, hear the rhythmic clang of a blacksmith's hammer. Soon, his forge will be dark and his bellows silent. Now, a fat orange cat slinks out from under a stall, weaving between the legs of those who linger seeking an evening meal. Watch it disappear into the deepening shadows. Smell the aroma of wood smoke mingling with the sweet perfume of night-blooming jasmine. Taste the tang of a crisp apple, its juice a burst of sunshine on your tongue. See the glimmer of a shopkeeper's wife's girdle as she hurries home, her pail swinging by its leather strap. Hear the murmur of voices, the laughter of friends who linger late into the night, comparing stories over tankards of ale. Feel the pull of the tavern's sign, the painted eye winking at you from above the door. Step closer and see the reflection of the dancing flame in its depths. Let its warmth envelop you as you push the heavy door aside. See the polished surface of the bar top, catching the flickering candlelight. Hear the tankard's resonant clink as it's set upon the counter. Smell the rich aroma of roasting meat and freshly baked bread wafting from the kitchen's open doorway. Taste the bitter tang of ale on your lips, its bubbles tickling your tongue. See the worn leather of the bar stool where a young man sits, listening intently to a traveling bard's tales of daring adventure. Hear the lute's gentle strumming as the bard sings of valiant knights and fair maidens, his voice ringing clear and strong despite the tavern's raucous din. Feel the vibrations of the lute's deep tones thrumming through the floorboards and up your legs. In the corner, watch a group of rogues playing dice, their eyes gleaming in the flickering lamplight. Their hushed voices raise in excited murmurs as the game reaches its end. Beyond the window, hear the insistent drumming of rain on the glass. Feel the sudden chill as a draft snakes through the room, rustling the hanging sign and extinguishing the candle on the bar top. See the flickering shadow of a dog, its tail a blur as it dashes back and forth, chasing the flame. Smell the smoky haze that hangs in the air, thick with the scent of pipe tobacco and wood smoke. Taste the sharp bite of cider on your tongue as you raise your tankard in a silent toast to the flickering flame, the dancing shadow, and the gathering night. Push open the door and step out into the cool night air. Above, the moon climbs higher in the sky, casting its silvery light over the sleeping city. Hear the distant echo of a lute string, a reminder of the music that filled the tavern, and the rhythmic drip of water from an overflowing gutter. See the shimmering reflection of the moon in the puddle at your feet, and know that even in the stillness of the night, the city never truly sleeps. In a shadowed chamber, an alchemist stirs a vessel of molten metal with steady hands. Whisper about their ancient quest to turn lead into gold, and let the quiet bubbling of mysterious liquids drift through the imagination like a gentle spell. Their gnarled fingers, like the roots of an ancient oak, dance around the crucible, drawing power from the very earth itself. Each movement precise, deliberate, a testament to years of study and practice. In the flickering lamplight, their face is a study in concentration, etched with lines that speak of a life well lived and a gaze that seems to hold the secrets of the universe. Around them, strange devices made of brass and glass stand like silent sentinels, each bearing witness to countless experiments and arcane rituals. In the air, there's a tang of sulfur and burnt lime, a heady perfume that speaks of the transformative power of alchemy. The alchemist's dream is a silver one, born from the ashes of 1,000 failed attempts. They seek to unlock the secrets of the philosopher's stone, an artifact of legend that can transmute base metals into gold and grant its possessor immortality. Some say the stone is real, hidden somewhere in the world, waiting to be discovered by a worthy alchemist. Others say it's a myth, a figment of alchemists' fevered imaginations. But the alchemist doesn't care what others think. They have dedicated their life to this pursuit, and they will not rest until they have achieved their goal. Hours turn into days as the alchemist works tirelessly, driven by an obsession that borders on madness. They are close, they can feel it in their bones. The lead in the crucible is almost pure, almost gold. But the final step requires a rare and dangerous substance, something that has been lost for centuries, something that few have ever seen or heard of: the philosopher's wool. The thought of giving up is unthinkable. To abandon their quest now would be to admit defeat, to concede that the dream was just that, a dream. And the alchemist is not one to give up easily. They have too much at stake, too much to lose. Their entire life's work could come crashing down around them if they fail. The pressure is immense, but the alchemist is unfazed. They have been preparing for this moment for years, decades even. They know what is at stake and they know what they must do. With renewed vigor, they set about their work, performing the complex ritual that will either make or break them. The fate of everything hangs in the balance as the alchemist performs the final step of their transformation. The lead in the crucible glows with an otherworldly light, then suddenly bursts into flames, consuming the alchemist's entire life's work in an instant. All their hopes and dreams, all their sacrifices and regrets, reduced to ashes in the blink of an eye. Defeated, the alchemist collapses, their body racked with sobs, their spirit broken. They had come so close, only to have it all slip through their fingers like sand. But as the smoke clears and the flames die down, something strange begins to happen. The alchemist looks up, their eyes wide with disbelief, their hands trembling. In the crucible, where there should be nothing but ashes, there is now a single perfect gold coin, gleaming in the lamplight like a beacon of hope. The alchemist reaches out, their fingers brushing against the coin. It's real. They can't believe it. They actually did it. The impossible has become possible. In that one perfect coin, the alchemist sees their entire life's work, all the pain and suffering, all the sacrifices and regrets, all the times they failed and fell, but got back up again. It was all worth it for this moment. As the sun rises, bathing the alchemist's chamber in a warm, golden light, the alchemist knows that they will never give up their quest. For the philosopher's stone, no matter how many times they fail, because in their heart they know that the dream is real, that it can never truly die. Because every time they stir a vessel of molten metal, every time they dance with fire and brimstone, they are one step closer to unlocking the secrets of the universe and achieving true immortality. Do you ever just want to curl up with a good book and get lost in another world? That's what reading is all about, escaping into a different time and place for a while. In today's video, we're going to escape to a peaceful cottage where a weaver sits at her loom, her shuttle flying back and forth between the threads. Let the rhythmic clack of her loom and the murmur of her voice wash over you, soothing your worries away. And if you enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more peaceful moments like this one. Settle in now and close your eyes if it's easier for you. Picture with me that you are sitting in a field. The tall grasses tickle your ankles, and the wildflowers are a riot of color around you. In the distance, you hear the bleating of sheep and the sweet song of a lone bird. It is a perfect day. As you walk through the field, you come across a small cottage. Its thatched roof is almost hidden in the tall grass, and its white walls are covered in climbing roses. You can just make out the outline of a woman sitting at a window. Curious, you walk up to the cottage and knock on the door. Inside, a fire crackles merrily in the hearth, casting flickering shadows on the walls. An old woman sits at a wooden loom, her wrinkled hands moving deftly back and forth. She is humming a soft tune as she weaves, and the regular clack of her shuttle is punctuated by the murmur of her voice. As you stand there watching her, she looks up and smiles at you. Her eyes are kind, and her smile is welcoming. Come in, she says. I was just weaving a piece of cloth. Would you like to see it? You nod, and she beckons you closer. She holds up the fabric she has been weaving, and you gasp. It is the most beautiful piece of cloth you have ever seen. The colors are so vibrant they seem to glow from within. Deep blues and reds are interwoven with splashes of yellow and green, creating a pattern that is both intricate and harmonious. How did you do it? You ask, awestruck. What kind of magic is this? She laughs, a sound like rustling leaves. No magic, child, just hard work and patience. I used woad for the blue and madder for the red, with some yellow and green for the rest. It takes a lot of time and skill to get just the right shade, but the results are worth it. You reach out to touch the fabric, and she stops you with a gentle hand. Be careful, child, this cloth is not yet finished. There is one more thing I must do, and it is the most important part. She picks up a silver thread and begins to weave it into the design. With each stitch, the cloth seems to come alive, pulsing with a light that seems to come from within. As she works, she tells you stories of the ancient craft of weaving, of how it was used to create tapestries that adorned the walls of kings and queens, and how each thread carried with it a bit of the weaver's soul. Finally, she steps back to admire her work. There, she says, holding up the finished piece, the weaver's silver thread. It took me many months to complete, but now it is done. You look at the cloth, now bathed in the warm glow of the setting sun, and you understand. It is not just a piece of fabric, it is a work of art, and you feel honored to have witnessed the creation of such beauty. As you say your goodbyes to the old weaver, you know that you will never forget her or the magic she wove into your life. You carry the memory of the weaver's silver thread with you long after you leave the cottage, a reminder of the beauty that can be found in the simplest of things. Once upon a time, nestled amidst rolling hills and whispering willows, stood a majestic medieval castle. Its towering presence was a testament to a bygone era, its thick stone walls silently narrating tales of knights and fair maidens. But as the sun began its descent and shadows stretched long and eerie, a peculiar sight unfolded at the castle gate. At dusk, a watchful gatekeeper, weathered and wise, would light his iron lantern. The flickering glow emanating from it was not just a beacon against the encroaching darkness, it was a symbol of safety, a promise that all who passed under its soft light would be protected. The soft light of the lantern played upon the rough-hewn stones of the castle wall, each block a silent sentinel guarding secrets of ages past. It was a mesmerizing sight, the interplay of light and shadow, a nightly spectacle that never failed to captivate. But this humble lantern carried with it a whisper, a tale from days of yore when these very castle walls echoed with the laughter of nobles and the clang of armor. They say that once upon a time, These lanterns were not illuminated by simple candles or oil lamps, but by something far more magical: horn panes. Imagine, if you will, a time when skilled artisans crafted lanterns from the very horns of mythical creatures, each one a unique masterpiece. These horn lanterns were not just a source of light, they were a status symbol, a declaration of wealth and power. The larger the horn, the greater the treasure it held, and the gleam from its surface rivaled the brilliance of 1,000 stars. The gatekeeper's lantern, passed down through generations, was said to have been crafted from the horn of a unicorn, a creature of legend with a single spiraling horn that shone with an otherworldly glow. Now, unicorns are elusive creatures, their horns so rare that they became a symbol of purity and grace. To acquire one was a monumental task, a quest that tested the limits of bravery and endurance. And so, the gatekeeper's lantern, a tangible link to this mythical past, was a prized possession, a reminder of the castle's glorious heritage. As the centuries rolled by, the use of horn lanterns gradually faded into obscurity, replaced by more practical and affordable glass counterparts. Yet the tradition of lighting the gatekeeper's lantern endured, becoming an integral part of the evening ritual. Each flicker of the flame whispered tales of valor and adventure. Each shadow it cast danced with images of knights in shining armor. And as the night deepened, the castle, with its glowing lantern aglow, seemed almost otherworldly, as if it had stepped out from the pages of an ancient tale. For those who lived in the shadow of the castle, the gatekeeper's lantern became a comforting constant, a promise of safety amidst the darkness. Its soft light dispelled not only the gloom, but also the fearsome creatures of the night, leaving only peace and tranquility in its wake. And so, with the last rays of sunlight fading away and the first stars beginning to glimmer in the inky blue above, the gatekeeper would diligently tend to his lantern, ensuring its flame burned bright. As the crowds of townsfolk and weary travelers alike made their way home, they would pass beneath the watchful gaze of the castle and the soft light of the lantern. In this moment of shared experience, the gap between the ordinary and the magical, the real and the mythical, seemed to narrow, leaving only a sense of wonder and a shared appreciation for the beauty of a tradition that had stood the test of time. For in the end, what is a castle without its secrets? What is a story without its magic? And what is a night without a little bit of light to guide us through the darkness? Now, dear listener, I invite you to close your eyes and imagine the scene. You are standing before the majestic castle, its silhouette outlined against the fiery hues of a setting sun. In your hand, you hold a steaming mug of spiced cider or hot cocoa. The scent of wood smoke and cinnamon fills the air as the gatekeeper, with a gentle smile, offers you a warm welcome. The soft glow of the lantern bathes the ancient stones in a golden hue, and you can almost hear the whispers of past centuries carried on the evening breeze. For a moment, let yourself be transported to this enchanting realm, where the boundaries between reality and fantasy blur, where the magic of storytelling brings history to life. Let the flickering flames and the echoes of stone steps soothe your soul, inviting you to linger just a little longer in this place where dreams and legends intertwine. The Baker of Dawn. The sun is not yet up, but the sky is light in the east. A chill wind whispers through the trees, rustling the leaves like distant applause. In a small village nestled between fields and forest, a solitary figure stirs. He is the baker, his day already begun. Before sunrise, he tends his clay oven, dusting flour from his hands like powdered snow. The rising sun bleeds into the sky, painting it with hues of peach and rose. With practiced hands, the baker kneads his dough, his rhythmic movements a silent symphony. The air around him, thick with the scent of yeast and dreams, promises the warmth of fresh bread soon to be. In the quiet of the morning, as the baker works, let us share a comforting fact. In the medieval period, this humble craft was more than just a profession. It was a community affair. Great communal ovens were the heart of many villages, replacing the solitary brick kilns that came into use during the 18th century. These ovens were not just for bread, they were the center of social life. Villagers would gather around them, sharing news, stories, and laughter while their bread baked. The baker's oven, much like the hearth in a medieval home, was a place of warmth, nourishment, and community. It was where the villagers could come together, where the young could learn and the old could reminisce. The oven was a silent witness to their lives, its walls absorbing the joys and sorrows, hopes and dreams that made up their world. In this time, before clocks and phones, the oven dictated the rhythm of the day, its fiery breath heralding the start of work, its cooling embers marking the end of it. The baker, much like the sun, was a giver of life. His loaves the daily bread that sustained the villagers. The sound of the oven, the feel of the warm loaves, the smell of fresh bread, all these were a source of comfort and familiarity in an otherwise unpredictable world. For the villagers, the routine was as ingrained as the seasons. As the sun climbed higher, they would come to the square, their baskets in hand, ready to exchange their wares for a piece of the baker's magic. A simple transaction that went beyond the exchange of goods. It was a bond that connected them, a shared experience that warmed their bodies and nourished their souls. As the midday sun climbs higher in the azure expanse, its brilliance tempered by the shade of the trees, our baker pauses in his labor. Time, measured not by clocks but by the sun's journey across the sky, tells him it's time for rest. He wipes the sweat from his brow, his muscles aching in pleasant weariness, a testament to a life lived in honest toil. The rhythmic slap of dough against dough, the patient kneading, the watchful eye for the perfect rise, all these have taken their toll. But the baker is not one to complain. His is a life of simple pleasures, of quiet satisfaction, of the deep contentment that comes from a day's work well done. He gazes at the loaves nestled in their wicker baskets, each one a golden-hued masterpiece, a symbol of sustenance and life. And as he savors this moment of quiet pride, let us share another bit of comfort. For centuries, bread has been more than just food. It has been a symbol of life, a representation of the very essence of living. The baker, with his flour, water, and yeast, was not just making bread, he was creating life. His loaves were a testament to the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. The yeast, like tiny alchemists, worked their magic, transforming humble ingredients into nourishing sustenance. The dough, at first lifeless, became alive under the baker's touch, growing, stretching, breathing, just as we do. And when it was baked, it emerged golden-hued and full of life, ready to sustain those who consumed it. In the heart of the village, amidst the aroma of baking bread, the baker rests, finding solace in the simple beauty of his surroundings, the warmth of the sun on his face, the gentle breeze whispering through the leaves, the murmur of the nearby stream. His heart, full of quiet contentment, beats in rhythm with the life that surrounds him, a life that he, like the bread he bakes, helps to sustain. And as the day wanes and the sky prepares for slumber, let the scent of warm loaves carry you gently toward rest. May the story of the baker, with his ancient craft and quiet dignity, bring a smile to your face and a song to your heart. Until next time, sleep well. Dream of golden-hued bread and dawns that bring new life. Welcome to my channel. Today's prompt is the Pilgrim's Candlelit Chapel. As always, this is just a starting point for your own creativity. Feel free to let your imagination run wild with it. On a starlit road, a weary pilgrim kneels inside a tiny chapel. Pilgrims often carried scallop shells with them on their journey, a symbol of their pilgrimage. And when they arrived at a destination, they would often place these shells inside a small chapel dedicated to Saint James the Greater, one of the 12 apostles of Jesus Christ, whose feast day is celebrated on July. These scallop shells served as a reminder of the arduous journey undertaken by both the pilgrim and their patron saint. Upon entering the chapel, the pilgrim would have seen an altar adorned with a statue of Saint James. In his hand, he held a staff known as a pilgrim's staff, which symbolized his role as a traveler. At his feet lay a pilgrim's hat and a scallop shell, further emphasizing the connection between the saint and those who followed his path. Above the altar hung a painting depicting Saint James on horseback, charging into battle, showcasing his bravery and strength. As the pilgrim approached the altar, he would have noticed 2 flickering candles on either side, casting a warm glow on the weathered stone walls. Each flicker was a silent prayer, each flame a whispered hope. In the dim oil lamp light, the room seemed to come alive with the presence of countless pilgrims who had walked through these very doors in years past. Their footsteps echoed in the chambers of his heart, their stories mingling with the scent of incense and old stone. With reverence, the pilgrim placed his own scallop shell on the altar, joining the countless others that had been left here before. He closed his eyes, surrendering his fatigue to the stillness of the moment. The candles burned brightly, illuminating the dust motes dancing in the air like tiny stars. Outside, the wind whispered tales of distant lands, carrying with it the sounds of nature serenading the night. When he opened his eyes, the darkness had deepened, and the flames had dwindled, but their glow still illuminated the path ahead. He rose, his body aching, but his spirit lifted. The chapel, once filled with the bustling energy of travelers, was now quiet. The only sound, the gentle lapping of water from a nearby stream. As he stepped out of the chapel, the vast expanse of the night sky shimmered above him. The Milky Way stretched across the heavens like a celestial river, its waters brimming with starlight. The wind, now a soft caress, played with the heather, sending waves of purple and gold rippling across the landscape. The scent of pine filled the air, mingling with the sweet fragrance of wildflowers that lined his path. He continued his journey under the watchful gaze of the cosmos, each step a testament to his endurance, each breath a prayer of gratitude. The candlelit chapel, with its silent vigil and flickering flames, became a beacon in the darkness, guiding not just his steps, but also his soul. And that's today's dream. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider sharing it with others. Until next time, may your days be filled with the light of laughter and the warmth of loved ones, and may your nights be guided by the stars and the flicker of your own inner flame. This is the alchemist's secret flame. In a dim chamber, an alchemist stirs powders with care over a quiet flame. Let the soft hiss of bubbling mixtures bring a dreamy calm. As you gaze into the flickering light, envision the medieval alchemist's belief that fire could transform base metals like lead into the purest gold. The alchemist, clad in a long robe, hunches over a wooden table cluttered with tools and ingredients for their mysterious craft. Their face, illuminated by the warm glow of a nearby lantern, is etched with concentration as they carefully measure out a pile of shimmering gold powder onto a rough stone slab. With steady hands, they then take a small hammer and begin to grind the powder into an even, finer consistency. Each tap of the hammer echoes in the silent chamber, creating a rhythm that is both hypnotic and intriguing. As the alchemist works, snippets of their muttered incantations drift through the air, carrying with them the scent of sulfur and other exotic materials. The very air seems charged with anticipation, as if the next moment might bring a revelation that shatters the boundaries between science and sorcery. Suddenly, the alchemist pauses, their eyes widening as they notice a subtle change in the reaction of one of the mixtures on their table. Quickly, they grab a long-handled spoon and stir the contents of a small crucible with renewed vigor. The metal in the crucible, once dull and lifeless, now begins to shimmer and change color, slowly revealing its true form beneath the surface. With each passing moment, the transformation becomes more apparent, and the alchemist's excitement grows. Finally, after what seems like an eternity, the metal reaches its final form, gleaming brilliantly in the dim light. It is a perfect specimen of gold, the very essence of alchemy's grand design. The alchemist, overcome with the wonder of their discovery, takes a moment to admire their work. In that instant, they are not just a humble practitioner of a mystical art, but a magician who has unlocked the secrets of the universe itself. As you witness this breathtaking moment, let your own imagination run wild. What other wonders might these alchemists have discovered? What hidden potential lies dormant within the everyday objects around you? And, most importantly, how can you tap into your own inner alchemist to unlock the limitless possibilities that exist within your grasp? Perhaps it's time to start your own journey of discovery and see what treasures await those who dare to dream big and follow their passions. But for now, let the image of the alchemist and their secret flame serve as a reminder that even in the darkest of times, a single spark of curiosity can ignite a transformation that leads to the purest of gold. So keep your eyes open and your mind curious, because who knows what wonders you might uncover next. And here's a little secret from the author. Writing this scene was really fun. It allowed me to explore the world of medieval alchemy and imagine the sights, sounds, and smells of a real alchemist's workshop. But I couldn't help but wonder what other magical things might be happening in that dim chamber. Maybe there are potions bubbling away on the back burner, or strange symbols scrawled on the walls. Who knows? The point is that there's always more to discover in the world of alchemy, just like there's always more to discover in our own lives when we take the time to look closely and ask questions. So, the next time you find yourself lost in a story or a daydream, remember to savor the experience and let your imagination soar. You never know what wonders you might uncover. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. If you enjoyed this tale, please don't hesitate to give it a thumbs up and share it with others who might also appreciate a touch of magic in their day. Your support means the world to me and helps me continue bringing these enchanting stories to life. And if you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and join our growing community of adventurers, dreamers, and believers in the extraordinary. Together, we can explore uncharted territories of the imagination and discover new worlds just waiting to be explored. So grab your compass and set your course for exciting adventures, because with every click of the mouse, you'll unlock new opportunities to expand your horizons and embrace the limitless potential that lies within your grasp. Don't wait another moment. Start your journey today and let the adventure begin.
There are some professions that seem almost magical, like that of the bell tower keeper. Imagine living in a quaint European village nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling river. And in the heart of this picturesque town stands a majestic bell tower, its bells echoing tales of history and serving as a timeless guide for the villagers below. And now meet our protagonist, an enigmatic character who tends to these ancient bells, ensuring their resonant tones continue to shape the rhythm of village life. High above the village, a bellkeeper leans against the wooden beams, waiting for dawn. His weathered face, a map of time, is creased with 1,000 stories, each line etched by the relentless passage of time. The first faint fingers of sunlight begin to touch the horizon, painting the sky in hues of rose and gold. It's his cue. He straightens, his joints popping like aging leather, and ascends the winding stairs to the ringing chamber. As he climbs, the air grows thick with the scent of dust and memory. With each step, the sound of his tread echoing the heartbeat of the tower itself. Reaching the top, he is greeted by the sight that has become the backdrop of his life, a panorama of gently awakening village, a patchwork quilt of rooftops and chimneys. In the distance, the river glistens like a silver thread catching the first rays of the sun. The bells hang suspended in the air around him, their surfaces gleaming dully in the dim light. They are not just inanimate objects. They are his companions, each with a voice that resonates through his soul. He runs a calloused hand along the largest bell, its worn surface a testament to countless years of service. This is the clock bell, its deep, sonorous tones dictating the rhythm of village life. As the largest and the oldest, it has a special place in his heart and in the folklore of the town. Legend has it that the very first toll of this bell summoned the villagers to defend their town from invading armies. And every note that followed had a story to tell, a birth, a death, a celebration, or a solemn warning. Time, however, has not been kind to the bells. Some have fallen silent due to age or neglect, while others bear the scars of those turbulent times. A constant reminder of the struggles and triumphs that have shaped the village. The keeper's task is not merely to ring the bells, but to ensure that they sing their ancient songs. He tunes them, polishes them, and whispers his own stories into their depths, imbuing them with the echoes of his life. As the sun climbs higher, his attention turns to the smaller bells, their chimes more delicate, their purpose more nuanced. There's the school bell, whose merry ring once signaled the start of a new day for generations of school children. Then there's the fire bell, its shrill cry a desperate summons in times of peril, urging villagers to unite and fight against the destructive flames. Each bell has its own voice, its own tale to tell, and together they form a chorus that defines the soul of the village. In his old age, his hands gnarled and his steps slower, he continues his vigil, his devotion unwavering. For For the bell tower keeper is more than just a caretaker of old traditions. He is the keeper of memories, the chronicler of lives lived and lost, and the silent sentinel of a village that sleeps beneath the watchful gaze of time. The soft glow of twilight begins to paint the sky, and the bellkeeper, weary but resolute, prepares to ring in the evening. As the first notes of the evening chime resonate through the valley, they carry with them the weight of ages. The joy, the sorrow, the resilience, and the enduring spirit of a community woven together by the language of bells.